Hey guys, I've just been playing around with shorthand, and some of you want to learn some of the tricks that you can do with shorthand, and I'm going to teach you two things that you can do. They're very simple and but can be very effective. So the first one that I'm going to show you is this scrolly thing. So as you scroll down and read this text here, see what's happening here. So I'm scrolling down, and then that is moving, and it's perfect for this video. So that came from a video, and then I converted the video into a series of stills, and just imported the whole series of stills. And so this is quite effective and quite fun as well to do. One thing that you have to remember though, because shorthand is responsive, so when you resize your screen, it will also change, but that doesn't really matter. So even when it's like that, people will still be able to see that it's a cool thing. All right, so that's the first one. That's a scrolly animation thing. The second one is this one that we've seen in the soccer story, the French soccer story, and this one is like that. All right, so with this one you need a bit of Photoshop knowledge, and with that one you basically just use Premiere Pro. So how did I do this one? Okay, the way I did it was I used Premiere Pro. So I'm just loading up Premiere Pro. That one there. Cancel. So this was the video. All right. And what I did was I just file, export media, and then export it as JPEG, and make sure that it looks good without the bars. So usually this will all right, that works. So there are no bars, so that's good. And basically what you need to do is just make sure you save it where you want it. I'm just going to save it in a new folder, Sophie batting stills, and then save it. So you can see that there's going to be saved as a series of stills. Save, use JPEG, and when you press export, what it will do is it will export it as, again, series of stills. Alright, so that's it there. It has now, there it is. Okay, so there are 47 stills here, and as you can see, it's just a series of stills from the video. And what you can do now is go back to your editing, and you can, I'm just going to add a new section. At section, you can either use background scrollmation, or you can use two-column scrollmation. And they both work, and they both have different effects, but for this one I'm going to use background scrollmation and clear what's already there, the little images, and then so make sure that it's clear, and then add, and just add the whole thing. So from Sophie batting 00 to Sophie batting 47. Open, and it'll take a while, but once it's ready it will work. And then meanwhile you can just copy your text here and make sure the text is long enough so for the scroll to work, because otherwise it'll just be too quick. Alright, so this is what it looks like now, and as you can see now, if I scroll, it will just keep on going from image to image. And now we've got it. That's a scrollmation. And it's a very, very useful effect, especially if you have you know, people dancing or people doing things, or you have machineries moving, and it's fun because you can make it, you know, up and down. It's sort of, it provides this interactivity for the reader. Just adds that wow factor for people to read, but also it tells a good story, you know. I mean, look, you can, in this case, you can actually see how she bats, and you can stop it, and you can go, okay, you know, look at her posture. And so it tells a story, not only about, it's not only the wow factor, it also tells a story about Sophie here. All right, so that's one. I'm going to cancel this. And delete that. Now the second one that I want to show you is this one, where when you scroll up, you have, this is the Schindler's List effect, and this in particular it works because there's this line here: the renegades will hope she can once again shine in red. So I thought that works very well. And the way you do that is by having first, as you can see here, have one image and then another image, which is the same one, but with this one, you can see that Sophie's in red. So how did I do that? I use Photoshop. So there are different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you one of the most simple way to do it, which is basically you open an image. So open file, open, and just open the file. So this was the photo that you want to use, and then so Photoshop works in layers. If you haven't worked in Photoshop before, so you just need to right-click, duplicate this layer, and just call it Sophie Black and White. So now that one is on top. And the trick here is we want to make this top layer. So imagine that there are two copies of this photo now, one above the other. And the trick here is to create a hole in the black and white one that we are going to create, so we get to see the red behind the red photo behind the black and white photo. So it's like cutting a hole, you know, on the first layer. But first of all, let's make this top layer black and white, which you can just do very easily. Sorry, you can't see this here, but in Photoshop you go image, adjustment, desaturate. All right, so now that's in black and white. And what we are going to do now, you can use a mask to do it, but masking is quite difficult to master in just one video. So what you can do is you just erase. So you just choose an eraser tool, and you can choose the thickness of the eraser tool here. So you can make it very big, or you can make it very small. So if you just really want to go detail. But first of all, let's find the middle ground here. See, when I delete that, when I erase this part, it's creating a hole basically that allows you to look at the layer under it, because I'm erasing this part. So I think that's a bit too large for me. So I'm just going to make it smaller. That's good. And for now, you can be just a little bit rough. And we need this as well. And to help you to do this, you should zoom in. On Mac, you just use Command plus. So now I can work better. And I'm just going to keep on doing that. And for this part, I might need to go small. And so you just keep on doing this, and remember the shadow parts as well. And for this effect to work well, what you need to be able to do, and if you need to move this while you zoomed in, a shortcut is to press spacebar. See how it changes into a hand, and then you can move things around, where if you press spacebar, click your mouse button, and then you can move it around, and then you can keep on doing it. And for this effect to work, you have to look at all these other little parts that are parts of Sophie as well. So that's also part of Sophie. That's her arm there, and that's her hand there. So keep on doing that until you have all of Sophie in color. And what you need to do is then go File, Export, File, Save As, and then save it as Sophie Photo Final. Save it as JPEG. Click Save, and then so that's the first one. So of course I haven't finished this, but this is just an example. And then the next thing you need to do is you need to get rid of that. Once you're done coloring, you just have to delete this part here, and you need to create, what I'm doing now is you need to create the black and white version. So again, just go Image, Adjustments, Desaturate, and then Save As Sophie Photo, black and white. And then you can imagine what you need to do next is add section media. So I've done that, and choose that black and white photo, and then the next one, so add section, image, the next section is the second photo. Alright, so that's the way you do this scrollmation thing using Premiere Pro. Export it as series of stills, and then import everything into shorthand. And with and with this one, you just use Photoshop to create first the black and white version, and then the color version. Sorry, the one that you want in color version. All right, and then you put it together. Cool. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you find out other tricks on using shorthand. And this is just something that I've just learned as I was editing Sports and Societies group. So I figured out how to do this, and yeah, I'm just sharing it with you. Cool. All right, have fun.